JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, we are not on F1 2021. We are back on Assetto Corsa, and if you're wondering what car we are driving today, is actually the F1 2022 car. Track of choice is actually the India circuit, which unfortunately only used 3 times in Formula 1. I think Sebastian Vettel actually won every single race that was done around here. So this is the F1 2022 car in the Red Bull, in the cockpit cam. Let me know if this field of view is accurate or not, or good. And you can already see, I think that's the answer to your question. It's very, very hard to drive, and I absolutely love this game. Done a couple of videos on it already recently, and if you want to get to the closest thing to driving a Formula 1 car, I suggest you download Assetto Corsa, because the feeling you get through the full feedback, especially if you've got a direct drive wheel like I have, is nothing short of exceptional. It is just absolutely insane, and the sense of speed, especially in this cockpit cam, as you can already see losing the car again, it's just crazy. And I think we've got an invalidation already, so business as usual, and we're just going to see how much we can progress and how hard is this car to drive, the F1 22 car, which is going to have a lot less downforce in the slow speed corners. We're not using a setup here, so obviously that's going to make it even more understeery, but just to get a first impressions of how it feels. And as always, if you enjoy me playing different racing games and you want to see more of this type of content, please ensure that you like the video. Really helps let me know that you actually enjoy this. And yeah, you can see it's a big struggle so far, and we're just going to stay on board here for quite a number of laps to see how much we can improve. But as we're watching this, I just want to say thank you to some new members of the Extra Rotation Club of Trevor Eriksson, PJ's World, Red Wing 79, Noah Carr, Butcher A, Philip Carr, Liam Randall, Willis, Ben Green and Cass. Thank you so much for joining the Extra Rotation Club by clicking the join button. You'll get access to my Discord, my full racing setups, priority invites to open lobbies, and many more other benefits, along with a permanent discount to one-to-one coaching if you go to coachlimitless.com. But you can see here, Delta 23 seconds up as expected since we had that spin on lap 1, and I think my face says it all. When I'm playing this game with something different to F1, I don't care if I'm doing badly as we get another invalidation. Just the satisfaction you get with the feeling is just, this is what this wheel was designed to be for. And that's why I've said so many times, I wouldn't really get a direct drive wheel at all unless you're planning to play actual sim racing games like Assetto Corsa, Competizione, R Factor, iRacing, Ultima Vista. There's so many other games as well. It's, yeah, you really get the true potential of the wheel on these games. And again, please let me know if this field of view is semi-accurate. I tried to use the calculation tool that was in the game itself, and a lot of people were telling me to go in cockpit cam, and I actually really enjoyed this. I decided to keep on the halo as well, just to try and make it as difficult as possible and realistic as possible, because I really want to try the experience of what it is like as we're, go on the grass, you just get punished instantly, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're going to stay on board once again, crossing the line. It's still invalidated, so it's a 36.5, so that's our first proper lap that's been invalidated so far. Let's see what we can do here now. Doing this turn 1 quite nicely, and you can see gaining 3 tenths, 4 tenths, half a second from that, and there is just so much time to be gained. If you just turn in that millimetre earlier or later, getting that right part of the track, getting that throttle earlier, brake slightly later, the amount of time you can gain is absolutely incredible. And this car is very, very hard to drive as well. And the slow speed, the downforce, is so much as you can see the car just wanting to always snap away from you. I think when I put on a full-blown setup, it'll be much, much better in a high speed. But in order to generate the downforce, you need to be going at speed. The slower you're going, the harder it's going to be to control a Formula 1 car. And yeah, it was just such a surreal feeling indeed. And please let me know again if you like me being in the cockpit cam. Felt it would be probably a bit more, well, definitely is more realistic, but just a little bit more satisfying to be in the cockpit cam here rather than being on top of the car itself. And I absolutely love driving this circuit. India, the 2013-2012 game, was such a pleasure to drive. It's such a big shame that we are not racing here anymore, because I think especially with the new cars, it'll be incredible to race around here. So as the laps go on, our best time now is a 34.5, so improved it by about 2 seconds, although it is still an invalidated time. This time we get the line a little bit better, but you can see the car is always wanting to step out all the time. And going through here, the more speed, the more grip you get. So as we're taking a few more risks, you can see we're 1.1 seconds up coming through into here. This corner is so tough. Hit the curb here, it wants to spit you out, and yes, it does spit you out. But you can see we're having such a great time anyway. We just really don't care at this point. So going on for another lap, we're 1.4 seconds up. Let's see if we can go through this last sector better this time. You can see taking some more risks, more speed, and every lap is just about making those small improvements. And when I first did the 36, I thought there's no way I can improve by 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And you will see what time we get down to. I think we started off with a 37, 38, coming through into this last corner, trying to use the curb as a reference point, getting a pretty good exit coming off here, and the time is a 33.5, which again is about 3 seconds faster. So doing this turn one fairly nicely. Don't get a great exit, but we gain all the speed on the entry. Coming into this corner, I absolutely used to love this corner on the games such as 2012, 13. This is where I really started to do a lot of league racing, was round this circuit. Getting a good launch, and you can see the Ghost is behind us, so 2 tenths up. You can see my throttle and brake application on the bottom right hand side as well. Braking about just before the 100 meter balls, as late as you dare, hitting that apex very nicely, getting on the power and getting quite a good exit. This corner is so difficult. Coming through to here, using the green barrier as a reference point, trying to stay on the track, and we just about do it. Letting it rev out, coming through to here. Turn earlier than you think, and we did that actually quite nicely. 6 tenths up. This corner, I always miss the reference point. It's so hard, especially at this viewpoint. It's so hard to see. And again, please let me know if you think this is accurate. But in real life, they could hardly see anything, which makes it even more impressive. Avoided the curb here, but we're 1.1 seconds up. So it's just insane that with small changes per corner, if you do it every single corner, it adds up to a massive lap time difference, and gaining speed on the entry but losing on the exit. And now we've done a 32.4, so gone about 5 seconds quicker, which I never thought would have been possible after my first proper lap. Going through here, almost losing the car again, so about 1.1 seconds up, hitting its apex quite nicely, so about a 10th up going into this final corner. As the curb starts, that's your braking point. Low speed, there is definitely so much less downforce, but coming across the line, it's going to be a 32.1, so improving slowly but surely. And that's the thing, once you start achieving some lap times, exactly when I try and attempt some world record videos at the start of the F1 games, once you start hitting a certain lap time, it becomes much easier to do so. So we've actually switched cars now. We're actually into the McLaren, so it's still an equal car, but this is the 2022 McLaren livery, and let's see what we can do here. So you can see, as we're starting the session, you actually have to warm up your tyres for a lap, since this is actually a sim, unlike the Codemasters game, which is kind of a well, an arcade game, if I'm being completely honest, or maybe a simcade, you could say. But have to warm up the tyres here, and you can see coming off here, the Ghost has just got so much grip at this stage, so we'll have to wait until the next lap. So it was a 32.1 is what we are needing to beat here. So as we come into this last corner, now we're going to start our first proper lap into. So you can see the Ghost is miles ahead. So coming across the line, what's this going to be? It's going to be a 33.2, which is not too bad. So now we're going to start our proper lap. Let's see what we can do. So coming through using the curb and not carrying that much speed, but we're actually still surprisingly get a good exit compared to our previous Delta. Coming up into the top, really hooking the apex actually really nicely, and you can see the throttle application being super early on the throttle, but there is a lot of understeer in this low speed corners. So I'm really interested to see if they're going to be faster or slower over the laps, and apparently they're going to be slower, but I have a feeling that a lot of teams will find loopholes in the regulations, and I wouldn't actually be surprised at some point they're just going to be going even faster than they were previously. Please let me know what you think the results are going to be of this year's championship, both in the drivers and constructors as well. But going through into here, we actually do this quite nicely. So this is actually a nice lap so far. We actually turn in early, carrying more speed. So the more we do this track, the more we are daring to carry speed. It's going on the throttle 100% now. Now going to this final sector, so difficult. As we go through here, into this right, it is so difficult through here. If you clip the curb, it just wants to spit you out instantly. Missing the apex ever so slightly. We're losing a bit of time on the Delta, but gaining quite a good exit. Coming into this last corner, let's see what this is going to be. Doing this quite well. The answer is yes. And coming across the line, what's this going to be? It's going to be a 31.5. So into the 31s now. But here, we decide to do our final lap. So I didn't want to spend too long on this. And now this is actually going to be our fastest lap. So do a 31.8 there. Let's see what we can do. So going into this turn one, do we do this quite nicely? Yes, we do. So using quite nicer track, we can still carry a lot more speed. And I'll say, I think at the end of this, it probably is still a good second or maybe even 2 seconds. Missing the apex quite badly, but we get a very good exit going into here. And we're actually gone a 10th and a half up. And as I said, I wouldn't be surprised in time, spending another hour on this, could probably maybe even go 2 seconds faster. Just for those little micro adjustments makes such a big difference. Coming through into here, we do this very well, just controlling the car on the exit. Now going into the hardest corner of the track, in my opinion. Going through into here, carrying all the speed, using all the track, turn earlier than you think, and still, we could have gained a bit more speed, but still, up on the Delta, go through here, turn earlier than you think, and that wasn't too bad at all. Now let's see what we can do going through here. So going a lot tighter this time, carrying more speed, use all of the track nicely, apex into here, on the power, nice and early, and that was actually pretty good. Coming through into this last sector, do we hit the curb on the inside? The answer is yes, but we just about survived, going a bit off track, but we did get an invalidation. Do we do this quite nicely? Not too badly at all, so losing a bit of time on the exit. Going into this last corner, try and carry as much movement speed as you possibly can. Staying on the track, getting a good exit. And this is going to be a 31.2. And that was me done. Really just wanted the experience of how these cars felt. So I really encourage you to download the Assetto Corsa. Try the F1 2022 mod. I'll probably put a link down in the description, but let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your predictions are for this season. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, and I will be catching you very soon. Peace.